Welcome to Streaming Into the Voids, What's New in Streaming, where we discuss the highlights of what's available for you to stream the week of February 24th. I'm Kim Hollis, and with me are Raul Buriel, Tim Bridey, and David Mumpower. We'll start with Hulu and Shōgun coming February 27th. Based on James Clavell's novel, this is set in Japan in the year 1600 at the dawn of a century-defining civil war. Lord Yoshi Toranaga is fighting for his life as his enemies on the Council of Regents unite against him when a mysterious European ship is found marooned in a nearby fishing village.
Finally, I think we've been talking about this one for years.
Mm-hmm.
This is, of course, based on the original novel and not an adaptation of the 1980 miniseries, which itself was actually very popular, but at this point would seem rather cliched compared to modern sensibilities. This one looks really exciting.
You're not joking about the delays either. This was announced in August 2018. They were supposed to start filming in March of 2019. The script wasn't ready. In January of 2020, the scriptwriter abandoned the project, and then something else happened in March 2020. And then they started filming in September of 2021. So it is hard to be optimistic about this project, knowing how much it has struggled to get off the ground. But if you are of a certain age and you remember the early days of event television, Shōgun was seminal, so maybe it'll turn into something. I'm skeptical, though.
Also new from Hulu on February 29th is Hereafter.
This true crime docuseries tells its stories from the point of view of the murder victims.
Okay, we move on to Netflix and the 30th Annual Screen Actors Guild Awards coming February 24th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific.
The biggest names in film and television light up the carpet and the stage for this award ceremony that, a few people will watch, but not anywhere near as many as 5 years ago.
Next up from Netflix on February 27th is Donnell Rawlings, A New Day.
Donnell Rawlings riffs on toxic relationships, getting older, visiting New Zealand, and his secret to co-parenting a young son in this stand-up special.
On February 28th is American Conspiracy, The Octopus Murders. In this docuseries, an investigative journalist pursuing a political conspiracy known as The Octopus is found dead in his hotel room. Decades later, new details emerge. Also on February 28th is Code 8, Part 2.
In a city where people with powers are policed and oppressed, an ex-criminal must turn to a drug lord he despises to protect a teen from a corrupt cop. Stars Robbie and Stephen Amell.
Yep, you got both Amell brothers there in a movie that I didn't know existed until I saw this sequel.
Yeah, right. Why don't I remember Code 8 Part 1?
Nobody does. Next up is The Mire, Millennium, Season 3, coming February 28th.
As the year 2000 draws near, officials in a small Polish town get rocked by a murderer, a skeleton in Gronti Forest, and a string of horrifying abductions do not want.
It actually gives X-Files or Stranger Things vibes when I watch the trailer. So that description is not maybe the best to give the vibe that it actually has. The Parades will debut on February 29th.
In this Japanese film, a mother searches for her missing son after a devastating calamity, only to realize that she has died and is now confined to a realm of restless spirits.
Also on February 29th is A Round of Applause, Season 1. Struggling with existential angst and longing for his past life in an orange, yep, he lives in an orange, a man navigates his quirky family in this decades-spanning Turkish drama. Our final February 29th release from Netflix is The Tourist, Season 2.
Season 1 of this series became available recently on Netflix, right ahead of the premiere of Season 2. It stars Jamie Dornan as a man who wakes up with amnesia in an Australian hospital. He must use what clues he has to discover his identity before his past catches up with him. This production got picked up for Season 1 on Max before, I guess, David Zaslav realized that he didn't want to pay for content. So fortunately enough for the producers of this series, Netflix decided to rescue it and give it a second season.
On March 1st is Blood and Water, Season 4.
In this South African series, Pulang and Fix try to move on during their senior year, but the past pits them against each other when they discover that they're still being targeted. This would probably make sense if you knew anything about the first 3 seasons.
At least I remember talking about this one before. Furies Season 1 will also debut on March the 1st.
Oh, thank God. I thought that said furries at first. Seeking to avenge her father's death, a young woman becomes entangled in the web of the Fury, peacekeeper of the Paris criminal underworld.
Also coming March 2nd, Furries Season 1.
No!
You'll have to wait till next week for that. In another March 1st release is My Name is Loh Kiwan. After defecting from North Korea, Loh Kiwan struggles to obtain refugee status in Belgium, where he encounters a dejected woman who has lost all hope. Somebody Feed Phil Season 7 is also coming on March 1st.
Globetrotting gourmand Phil Rosenthal samples and savors culinary delights from Dubai, Edinburgh, Kyoto, and more in this warmly humorous series.
And our final new Netflix release is Spaceman, coming March the 1st.
All right, I'm going to read this, but what? Adam Sandler stars as an astronaut who realizes the marriage that he left behind might not be waiting for him when he returns to Earth. Desperate to fix things with his wife, he is helped by a mysterious ancient creature he finds hiding in the bowels of his ship.
This trailer gives, well, it reminds me of Project Hail Mary, but not as heartwarming. I guess that's the only way I can say it. Even though I like Adam Sandler and I think, it looks like it might be okay, I'm still waiting for Project Hail Mary because that one is a totally different vibe.
I am so glad you said that because I was going to say this sounds like Adam Sandler's Project Hail Mary, which admittedly most people aren't going to get yet, but it's Andy Weir, the same guy who did The Martian, and it is going to be a theatrical release at some point in the next couple of years. This is just that, but Adam Sandler, and I'm really having trouble processing that.
It's much more psychological feeling than what Project Hail Mary is to me. All right, on Disney Plus is Iwájú, complete miniseries coming February 28th.
In this animated sci-fi series set in a futuristic Nigeria, Tola and her best friend Cole discover the secrets and dangers hidden in their different worlds.
On Max, coming February 27th, is God Save Texas. In this 3-part docuseries from Richard Linklater, the director returns to his hometown of Huntsville, Texas for the first time since his mother's memorial. The 3 parts are titled Hometown Prison, La Frontera, and The Price of Oil. It's been very well received in early viewings. There was something that debuted on Peacock that we did not cover because honestly, when I saw it, it confused me, but it is called 3 Body, all of the episodes, and it debuted on February 10th.
The 3 Body Problem, the science fiction novel from Chinese author Liu Cixin, has unquestionably become a bestseller. Netflix will be dropping their adaptation in March, but Peacock has beat them to the punch as they secured the rights to all 30 episodes of the series produced by China's Tencent earlier this month and premiered all of them on February 10th.
Honestly, they haven't. I don't feel like they've done a great job of promoting it, so I don't know that it's going to make too much of a dent in what Netflix will garner for the 3 Body Problem coming in March.
I think this is a Suits scenario where they're going to let Netflix do all the heavy lifting, and then after there's interest in the product, they're hoping that those people will come back and watch the Chinese series as well.
Could be. Some of the new releases that will be showing on Peacock include CrimeTime, Freefall, coming February 24th on Hallmark.
Crime series actress Hadley Warner retires to a small town where she encounters her first real case. Using her TV crime knowledge, she teams up with Detective Sean Caden to solve the case.
I mean, obviously, if she has her TV crime knowledge.
It's kind of like Castle if you think about it and put no other thought into it.
That's probably exactly what happened there. On February 25th, Hallmark is going to continue their Jane Austen tear with Sense and Sensibility.
After a change in circumstances, Marianne is torn between 2 men, while Eleanor longs for a man beyond reach. This is, of course, a period piece adapting Jane Austen's classic novel.
It's about time they adapted that novel.
Too bad Pride and Prejudice and Zombies bombed because we never got an adaptation of Sense and Sensibility and Sea Monsters.
Uh-huh. All right, our final new Peacock release is Megamind Rules, Season 1, coming March 1st. Megamind has gone from being a supervillain and the scourge of Metro City to a superhero who's learning on the job. He's also bringing along the audience for the ride, as Megamind's trusty brain bots will be recording everything, making him the world's first superhero influencer.
I loved Megamind. I don't care who knows, and I will watch this.
It could be cute. On Amazon Prime Video, one that we did not talk about when it came to streaming is Bottoms, which debuted on February 12th.
Yep, much like its release in theaters, no one noticed when this raunchy comedy hit Prime Video on the 12th, but we're here to tell you it's totally worth it. If not for the Marshawn Lynch appearance, then for the star turn by Ayu Edebiri in this movie about two high school girls who scheme to hook up with their lesbian crushes.
And I'm telling you right now, people, it is a lot closer to Warriors than anything else. And I know that doesn't make sense, but it's true.
We move on to Apple TV Plus and the completely made-up adventures of Dick Turpin, Season 1, coming March 1st.
Noel Fielding plays the titular protagonist, who is a successful highway robber who leads a gang of outlaws.
Fans of the Great British Baking Show will recognize Noel Fielding as one of the hosts of the show. He's one of those British panel comedians that shows up on so many different shows. But my immediate reaction to the trailer for this was, it's Our Flag Means Death, but on land.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And our final new streaming release of the week comes from AMC Plus, and it's The Ones Who Live, Season 1, coming February 25th.
The Ones Who Live apparently including this franchise because The Walking Dead just will not die. This is the latest installment of the franchise. It sees the return of Michonne and Rick.
All right. So David mentioned Megamind, which we will almost certainly give a shot. I'll also potentially watch Three Body, and I say that because I just finished reading Three Body about a week ago, and I am intrigued to see the Chinese adaptation as well as the more Hollywood-focused adaptation.
I really enjoy Japanese feudal shows, so I'm going to be watching Shōgun. Also, Hulu has been on a tear lately. A lot of great stuff on Hulu, so I'm very interested in that. I also am very curious about The Tourist on Netflix. It's a couple of seasons now, so it's a pretty big investment, but I'm curious to see where it goes. And once again, if I ever renew my Apple TV Plus subscription, I'll be adding the completely made-up adventures of Dick Turpin to the list of shows I have to watch there.
I will probably watch CrimeTime Freefall. Don't judge me.
So go watch something.